ADD is one that, as I mentioned before, tends to be more heavily hereditary. It tends to run in families. It's one that often ends up not being diagnosed for people until somewhat later, like the symptoms appear.
Audio preview.
One of the bigger problems with ADD is that because the symptoms aren't diagnosed until later, sometimes people develop secondary problems that include maybe problems in social interactions, and sometimes problems even academically, where the person has missed certain academic content because of their inability to focus. And by the time it's diagnosed, you can see people already missing kind of key base skills that they need to have in order to be successful. By the time you get to a college situation, obviously if you don't have it diagnosed at that point, you have somebody who may easily be overwhelmed by material, may have a hard time having the attention and focus that they need to master kind of the content at the level that they need to, even if maybe at high school it wasn't as big a problem. With ADD, one of the things that we see is as the material becomes more demanding, an inability to focus or pay attention becomes more problematic. With stimulant medications that we tend to use for ADD, they work for people with ADD and they work for people without ADD. And so, when people are trying to increase their focus and trying to get along without a lot of sleep and that sort of thing, the stimulant medications are very enticing. And the other thing that we know is stimulants really increase anxiety. They intensely increase anxiety. So one of the things I would always tell my patients is if you have an anxiety disorder, if you're having panic attacks, one of the first things you should do is cut out stimulants because you're already hyper aroused. And if you load on 3 cups of coffee because you need to study for an exam all night, the chance that you're going to have a panic attack becomes really high because you just threw a stimulant on it.
Audio preview.